When you go to a movie, it feels completely passive. You sit in a chair and let the action wash over you. But the truth is, audience members just like you likely had a huge impact on what you're about to see. We're looking at how focus groups run Hollywood. Audiences don't just watch movies, they dictate how they're made.
Most wide release movies do go through anywhere from 1 to 10 pre-released screenings.
Kevin Goetz is the founder and CEO of the focus group company Screen Engine ASI and author of Audienceology, How Moviegoers Shape the Films We Love.
I would say 95% of them make some kind of change to their final product based on audience feedback.
Folks like you and me helped create unbreakable audience rules for Hollywood movies, and spoiler alert, we're running them down with examples from mostly oldish movies. You've been warned. Let's start with a biggie. We've got to care about the lead character.
If you don't feel for that lead character and their journey, it's very difficult to have a successful movie.
It can even affect a hugely likable actor like Sandra Bullock.
Sandy, in almost all of her movies, scores in the 80s and 90s of approval, which is an extraordinary rating.
But in screenings of 1998's Hope Floats,
She was like in the 60s or something, I remember, and we were like, what's going on?
well, her character's mom dies, and
The audience was like, how could this woman be with her mother and not feel anything? She never grieves. And they were kind of turning on the character.
so they brought Bullock back in for a reshoot in which she's looking for a dress in her mother's closet.
And as she's pulling the garment off, she sort of smells the scent of her mom and kind of has a breakdown.
That simple addition made a huge difference.
It bumped her character rating up by 20 points, 25 points, and the movie came up as well.
Next, filmmakers have to follow the rules of the movie.
If you set up a superhero and the superhero has X, Y, and Z superpowers, and then in the third act, you add a superpower that you never saw in the first 2 acts, you're sort of betraying the movie rules that you set up.
Like me all of a sudden flying halfway through the story. It makes no sense, right?
The audience will feel betrayed by the filmmaker. That is a no-no.
The Matrix movies were jank because even though the rules were complex, they never broke them. But when the final Star Wars sequel decided that dead people don't need to stay dead,
A scavenger girl is no match for the power in me.
and that's how you kill a franchise. Finally, audiences require a satisfying ending. For instance,
Fatal Attraction was a very, very fine movie until the last 5 minutes.
because at the end of the focus group version,
Glenn Close takes her life by suicide with a knife while the aria from Madame Butterfly is playing.
wait, what?
They reshot this ending, which is now known as the classic Fatal Attraction ending.
And when Ann Archer shoots the knife-wielding Glenn Close,
The audience erupted.
audience feedback turned a good movie into a classic.
The movie became this cultural phenomenon, and it's just a great story about how audience feedback absolutely led to the changes that were made.
Because in Hollywood, focus groups are in charge.